All right, we are in record mode and welcome. I am your host for this Simple Truth series, Chrissy Key Rollins. And you know what? I haven't introduced myself at the beginning of any of these videos, so I'm going to introduce myself now. For those of you who are not already familiar with my work, I am an intuitive healer and mindset coach for conscious entrepreneurs. And what I really am most passionate about is helping you to create simple, aligned businesses that get results without you having to convert yourself and contort yourself into becoming a salesperson or worry about, sounding salesy or like you're just in it for the money, and to really get you aligned with what makes your heart sing so that can move your mission forward instead of it being so action driven, doing whatever it takes and really following an outdated paradigm for business that just doesn't work for us conscious entrepreneurs. So I'd like to bring forth a new paradigm that allows you to move forward in a very heart-centered way, that allows you to just stay aligned and relax into your fuller expression of self in this world, and allow yourself to receive an income doing so. And with this series, this is the Simple Truth series that I'm putting together for you, I am hitting on everything that I feel is behind the scenes, beyond the doing, the energy behind the action, the mindset that's required, and the basic business structure that's needed in order to create a business that's sustainable as far as income, revenue and generation, but also leveraged in a way that you can, or structured in a way that you can leverage it to whatever growth that you want to take it, where you're working as many hours or as little hours as you want, and really fits around your lifestyle. So for the past almost 11 years now, I've created a full-time income, working part-time hours, very inconsistent schedule, but still creating consistent income. And I've just been able to tap into what really makes it work. Why have I had the struggles that I've had? Why do other people get out of the game? And how can we make this just so much more easy and so much more natural, so it's something that we keep moving forward instead of feeling strongly inadequate around. And welcome whoever just joined live. I do have some callers on the line, some people that are video chatting and over the phone. So I have the chat open, but I will be muting everybody as they come on the line. If we get a chance to open up for some Q&A, I definitely will. But please, if you are on the line, feel free to use the chat feature if it is something that's an option for you. You can use the chat feature to just chime in on if what I'm saying is making sense, if there's anything in particular you'd love to have me expand on as I hit on the topics that I have on my heart to share today. So welcome, and I'm glad that you're here live or in the replay, and do reach out. I like this to be interactive. And if you're watching this in replay, leave me some comments. Share this video with a few people if it's something that you find of value. I would love just to get this message out there to anybody who's still trying to find their groove in making their business work. So today we are talking about attracting and supporting your tribe. Now, this is the fourth video in the series, so if this is the first one that you're catching, definitely jump over to my website, holisticrestoration.com/simple truth, and you will find the first 3 videos in this series, and also be able to sign up for joining our next video next week as we wrap up this series. We'll be doing that live next week. I think it's at 1:45 next Wednesday. That's Eastern time. Okay, so far we've really gained a lot of ground as it is. We've talked a lot about mindset. We've talked about getting clarity, really tapping into what your purpose is, and just the basic mindset that's needed in order to allow this to be a much easier journey than one that just feels like, again, total inadequacy and consistent struggle. We want consistent results instead of consistent struggle, and how to use the struggles and challenges that you come across to really align and empower you. And today we're going to dive into more of the nuts and bolts, more of the tangible, actionable pieces of this training series as we talk about attracting and supporting our tribe. Now, your tribe, there's lots of different ways that I've heard people talk about tribes. This is your niche, your target market, your audience, your followers. It's the people that you are serving, either one-on-one or in a group scenario with your business of actual exchanges of goods and services. And then it's also that community of people that just kind of hang around the peripherals, that hang out in your Facebook groups, that stay on your mailing list, that want to stay plugged into what it is that you have to offer. And knowing how to attract and how to support this tribe, this group of followers is, I just think it's really vital. It's been something that has been a big game changer for my business and something that has allowed me to enjoy my business so much more. It is also an area that you can experience massive amounts of burnout and frustration as you do a lot of the doings that don't always bring a lot of the gettings. So remember, as you move into the content that I'm sharing with you today, this all stacks on top of the foundation that we built over the last few videos in this series. You will hear me say this over and over and over and over again, because it really is the heart and the core of my message, and it is the unseen foundation that everything that we build upon gets stacked on top of. And that is self-love, self-trust, and self-worth. Now, we talked a lot about self-trust last week on finding clarity, because it really is a precursor for clarity. If you're somebody who struggles with finding clarity, definitely go back and watch that training. It is really phenomenal at breaking down just what's behind the scenes of clarity so that you can understand what is holding you up in the process. And it really comes down to self-trust. So we have to love ourselves in order to just have a more enhanced experience of ourselves. But a beautiful side effect of loving ourselves is that we end up naturally taking action on the things that our heart desires and that our soul's really craving. So through self-love, we begin to follow through, and that follow through builds our self-trust. And that self-trust leads us to being able to tap into clarity. When you start to trust yourself, you can see things much more clearly. And that clarity is what leads us into confidence, and confidence is what allows us to take action. And again, if you're not part of the Consciouspreneur Club on Facebook, I highly recommend that you join this group and that you take on the 5-day Transform Fear into Confidence Challenge, because I tap on each of these concepts through that 5-day course. And this Simple Truth series is kind of like a deep dive into those same concepts. So definitely check out that group and join the next round, or go ahead and find the videos on the page and get started. The next round will start on Monday, October the 2nd, the first Monday of every month. We kick it off. So if you've already taken on the challenge, you already know that progression, that self-trust builds follow-through, self-love builds follow-through builds self-trust, self-trust leads to clarity, clarity leads to confidence. So now that we have that confidence, now that we have that clarity, now that we've done those steps, now it's time to get into some action. Once you have clarity, that's where you start to look at your pricing and your packaging. This is where you start to consider, are you going to start a Facebook group? Are you not going to start a Facebook group, or some other community to get your members of your audience plugged into? And then we're also going to talk about today creating cohesive content and the importance of that and how to do that. I'm going to give you a really powerful, simple formula that you can use over and over again to allow yourself to create 48 weeks of content in just under an hour. Sounds too good to be true, but it's really powerful, super simple. It's how I like to do things. Simple and powerful. That's what I'm all about here. And then we're going to talk about emails and Facebook posts, because I think that this messaging, this online community, this is where a lot of our businesses thrive or they struggle. And it can be very disheartening when you see people putting out offers and posts and they're getting lots of traction, lots of community involvement, and then you're kind of replicating what they're doing, but you're not getting those same results. We're going to talk about that today. And again, if you're live and on the line, I see a couple more callers have joined us, so welcome. Thank you for being here. I do have everybody muted out and the chat feature is open. So if you're on the line and you want to participate, please do utilize the chat function, and we'll make sure that we get to you. Okay, so first off, pricing and packaging. This is something that I feel almost every single business owner and people who have that desire to bring their business to the table, this is like one of the top stumbling points. How do I know what services to offer? How do I know how to price them? How do I put this all into a nice, tasty package that people want to consume, that they're craving, that they're hungry for, right? Because it's not just about, hey, let me drop this out there, hope you like it. This is about strategically maximizing and aligning yourself and your soul's desire with that audience that you really want to connect to, and giving them what they're hungry for most. And Erica says here in the chat, she says 48 weeks and 1 hour. Say what? That would be awesome. It is awesome, and I'm excited to share it with you. Again, I like to keep things simple. I like to keep it really super powerful and very doable, because when you hear about like, well, now I've got this community that I've got to support, what the F am I going to say to them? It's so important to have a game plan for this. It just helps. Do you have to have it? No. Can you wing it the entire time? Absolutely. But what I love about having this kind of game plan in mind is that, one, it stays flexible. You can always change it. You can always shift it. Your business is an ongoing evolution. The very first training that I did in this series was about redefining business ownership. And I talked about how you are an ongoing evolution. You're an ongoing, growing, developing creature, being. So is your business. It's an ongoing evolution. It's not a one and done thing. There is no one and done thing. You don't get to blink once and then check that off your to-do list. Don't have to do that again today. You don't breathe once. You don't shower once. You don't brush your teeth once. You do these things over and over again. It's an evolution. It's a progression. It's ongoing. It's forever unfolding until it's not. And then you don't have to worry about it anymore. But you can stop worrying about it now. I invite you to. I invite you to. So understanding this isn't a one and done thing. Just like pinpointing who your audience is, that too may evolve over time. It's not necessarily this one audience and that's it. It might be, but it may evolve. When I first got started, now first of all, let me share this too. I invested around $10,000 working with high-end coaches. That's where I got this training information from. And then I've just interwoven it with my own teachings, my own offerings. And this is my own flavor of teaching this content. Now, of course, $10,000 worth of high-end coaching didn't happen in a 45-minute video. So I'm not going to be able to hit on everything and go super duper in depth. But that's why you work with people one-on-one, to help you to personalize this information so that it can become very easy to integrate it into your own life. I really look at myself as an integration coach, someone who helps you to integrate content, integrate what you've already learned, integrate some new ideas and concepts. So you're not just walking around with these concepts, but you're actually putting them into action. So as you begin to clarify and as you start to know yourself in this process, again, I'm not going to talk a lot about identifying your tribe. I'm just going to talk about what to do with them, how to attract them, and how to support them. Go back to those previous trainings for that. But as you begin to identify who it is that you are most excited to serve, who you most connect to, who you most relate with, a lot of times it's somebody just like you. It's a pretty big clue as to who your tribe should be. Then once you have that clarity on who it is that you want to support, now you start to look at those packaging, those pricing, those services. Now, it's vital that you identify who that tribe is, and you get in touch with them, just like we talked about in previous trainings. You identify what it is that they are most challenged by and what end result they want the most. And then here you go. Here's the secret formula. You give it to them. You cater everything that you offer to helping them overcome the challenges they identify as their top challenge and helping them get to the result that is their most desired result. So whatever services, whatever offerings, whatever goodies you have in your little bag of tricks, that is what you use them for, is to help them overcome that challenge and bring them to that result. So as you're assessing, what are all the goods that you bring to the table? Remember, no, it wasn't in this series. This was in my Self-Worth Power Shift. So those of you that are in my Consciouspreneur Mastermind, which is my membership group, highly recommend you checking out that group if you're into high-end content and support for a low-end monthly investment. Definitely recommend that you check this group out. Last week in this group, we did a self-worth power shift, and I took time to help people get in touch with what's the value that you bring to the table just by inherently being you, your own intrinsic value. Now I'm talking about what do you bring to the table as you sit down at the table and you get into the doings. What are the doings that you can offer out into the world? I am a massage therapist. I'm licensed in the state of North Carolina, and I'm nationally certified, so I can move to any state and practice there. So I'm a massage therapist. I'm also a Reiki master. You probably didn't know that because I don't talk about being a Reiki master, because it's not one of the modalities that I market and that I consciously utilize. I don't do full Reiki sessions, but I'm a Reiki master. I've been trained in all of it. I understand energy. I do a lot of energy balancing and energy clearing and energy healing work. Reiki is infused into all of that. It's just not something that I bill for. It's not part of what I put out there. It all just gets intertwined. I do life coaching. I do spiritual guidance work. I do relationship work. I do self-love, self-healing. I help people with nutritional cleansing, with weight loss, with helping to bring to balance what's going on in their physical bodies. This is everything that I do, and people don't give a crap about it because they don't want a massage session, a Reiki session, an intuitive guided healing session. They want the result that's on the other side. So when you are putting together, as you're identifying what tricks you have in your bag that you're going to be bringing to the table with your clients, identify them for your own self and use them to help you to clarify your own protocol. But that is not going to be the package that you put out there and pitch to people. No, people will only pay so much for an hour massage. People will only pay so much for intuitive healing session. People will only pay so much for your time. They are not buying your time, so stop selling it to them. They are buying your confidence and your ability to help them get over their challenge and to that end result. That's what they're buying. They don't care how you do it. They just want it done. So whenever you're talking about whatever it is that you have to offer, when you're talking about your services, stop talking about the how and get into the what. The what is getting them through the challenge and bringing them to that end result. That's the what. Everything goes towards that, not how you're going to do it. You stay talking to how they're going to overcome that challenge. Excuse me, I said it myself, right? You stay focused on the challenge that they're going to overcome and that end result that they're going to, and then you bring your expertise through your services to the sessions and implement your own process and protocol. And whenever you put together your services in a way that just says, this is a Reiki session, this is a massage session, again, you're giving the illusion that people are buying your time. They're not buying your time. They're buying your expertise. And if you want to be able to make more money in less time, this is absolutely needed, because you can add clients and you can add hours and you can increase your income incrementally, or you can package services. You can work with super committed people. You can work with higher end investments. It doesn't mean that you have to find rich people. It just means you have to find people that are committed, and you can begin to leverage your time differently. So I actually work less hours now over the past 4 years since becoming a mom. I have dialed my hours back. I don't work as many hours, but I still create the same amount of income, and I actually serve more people because I shifted from doing so much one-on-one work to doing more group work. And now I only have a small amount of one-on-one people that I work with and that I'm interested in working with and that I will work with. And that small amount of people are highly committed, and it's not like work. And I don't get paid by the hour. I get paid for the results. People don't pay for time, they pay for results. So if you're marketing your time and you're marketing your how, you're going to get only very, very small. We'll say you're going to get 20% of the traction when you could be getting 80% of the traction. Just changing that one thing to where you talk everything about overcoming that challenge and bringing them to that end result. You cater your packages to speak to, this is the package that brings you to this result. I have an amazing formula that I used with my one-on-one clients. I didn't think to include it in this video. It's probably a good thing because we've only got like 45 minutes anyway. I'm trying to keep these concise but packed full of punch, right? But I have this really great formula that I use with my clients when I work one-on-one that allow us to just kind of fill in the blanks in the sense, to be able to really craft what that offering is, so that when you present what it is that you offer to people, they have no way of being able to calculate the value of your time, and they will always see that you are bringing more value to the table than they'll ever pay for. There's this little saying that's going around in our community right now that says, price what you're worth. Make sure that your prices reflect your value. Yeah, that ain't ever going to happen, girlfriend. That ain't ever going to happen, boyfriend, because your value is infinite. And unless somebody can scoop up the galaxies and the whole entire universe and hand them to you, can't happen, then you will never be able to charge what you're worth. So what you need to do, or what I invite you to do, or invite you to consider doing, is to present your offerings in a way that puts the value up front, that clearly states you're going to overcome this challenge, you're going to get to this end result, I'm going to help you through the entire process, and I'm going to give you so much more than I could ever give you in an hour's time, that it begins to to point to the value and tip the scales of value over again. The value is that I'm going to get you to this end result, right? It's not how much time we're going to take to get there. In fact, people don't want more of your time. They want less of your time. Nobody wants to take 6 months to get to a result that they can get to in 6 weeks. Nobody wants a 25-page workbook to get there either. Nobody wants that. They want the result. Now, that's not to say people don't love workbooks, don't use workbooks. People love workbooks, use workbooks, don't market workbooks. People don't want to do work. I've got enough work. I don't want to do any more work. I only seek to hire people that are going to make my life easier and help to free up my time, my money, my energy. And doing a 25-page workbook does not get me excited. And I share that example because that was one of my first offerings. You get this 25-page workbook. And my coach said, nobody wants a 25-page workbook. And definitely a guy doesn't want a 25-page workbook for sure. They want 1 page. And if you can just go ahead and fill in all the blanks, that'll be cool. Thanks. That's what people want. But no workbook in the world, no done for you template in the world is going to liberate anybody. It's an inside job that only they can do. But you can help them to see what path could help to lead them to what they want if you package your services in a way that speaks to the value of what they're getting, not the how of the process. Is this making sense? I'd love to just get a couple words in the chat if I'm hitting the mark on this for everybody. And again, welcome for the new people that have joined in. Okay, great. Lisa says it makes perfect sense. Whew, good. Okay, I didn't want to get to the point that I was just saying the same words over and over again. So glad that that's hitting the mark. Okay, so pricing, since you can never price it at the value that you actually have had. Oh, and Lisa also says had never thought of it that way. Yes. See, this is what investing $10,000 with a high-end coach. This is what you get. But I have this belief, and maybe I've gone crazy. I might have gone crazy. But I have this belief that you need to know these things, that you deserve to know these things. And I also have a belief that it's not paying high-end prices has nothing to do with what you're getting. It has everything to do with how committed you are to getting results. I knew that I would get results with high-end coaching because I knew that I was ready for high-end results. I knew it. And I knew that by making that big of an investment, I sure as heck was not going to let it just sit there and not use it. I hit the ground running with it. I rocked it out. It changed my life. It changed my business. But I feel that there's a gap. There's like this little missing segment. And that's what I'm looking to fill. So I'm glad that this is hitting the mark for you and for anybody else that's watching this. And if you want to take a deep dive, if you want to integrate this in, then let's talk one-on-one. But I believe that everybody really needs to know these concepts. So thank you. I'm glad that it's hitting the mark, and I'm glad that I can bring it through a free training series for you as well. Okay, so put together a value pack package that doesn't speak to how many hours it's going to take and what kind of work they're going to have to do along the way, but only speaks to how each component is going to, not even how each component, but that each component is going to help them to overcome their challenge and bring them to that ultimate result. And then as far as deciding on a price it whatever the heck you want. Now, you absolutely can search around and kind of see what are other coaches charging, what are other healers charging, what are other people doing. But you can't just replicate their pricing to get the results that you see them getting. They're not getting the results that they're getting because of the pricing that they have. Pricing doesn't matter. Pricing doesn't matter at all. Pricing is something that we have to make up because there has to be some kind of exchange that happens. There has to be some physical representation of the symbolic exchange that is happening energetically whenever you work with a client. If you don't have that physical representation of the exchange that's happening, things are going to be out of balance. It's going to be out of balance, and you're going to end up giving more, or they're going to end up taking more. You're not going to feel satisfied. You're not going to show up. When I started charging high-end prices, I started showing up like a high-end coach. When people started paying me big dollars to get big results, I started showing up big for them because I was equally invested in their results. I look at my clients as a partnership. Your success is my success. And if I don't help you to move to a greater point of success, of ease, of whatever it is that you're desiring, then, I mean, I'm only so responsible for your results, but at the same time, that's my mission. I'm invested because you invested in me, you invested in yourself. And since you're invested, I'm invested. It's a two-way street. It's a dance. It's a very cool thing that happens. And if you're discounting your prices or marking them lower and lower and lower, you're probably not finding that flow. You're probably not having that balance, and you're going to energetically be out of balance, even if it feels more comfortable to stay charging $60 an hour, $100 an hour, or even $200 an hour. For some of us, that's a comfort zone that you could really break out of. What I do for myself is that I set my prices, and then every 3 months I increase them by 20%. And I make it an ongoing game of how comfortable can Chrissy be asking for higher numbers, because the numbers don't matter. That they don't matter. They don't matter. And if they do matter, then I highly recommend you check out the 21-day money power shift that's getting ready to start. It's in early bird pricing right now, so you can save over $100 if you sign up this week. But for 222, you can go through a 21-day course that you can forever go back and revisit the content of, that will help you to shift and change and transform your relationship that you have with money. So that whenever you hear high-end pricing, or you're offering high-end pricing, you don't shrink or misrepresent what that's all about. And that you also don't miss out on an opportunity to charge more, and that you also don't just jump into higher pricing because you need more money to come in, because that creates a whole different kind of disconnect and a whole different imbalance that's going on. So when it comes to pricing, only you can know what price is right for you. And I use, whenever I work with people one-on-one, I use a balance between how many hours they want to work and how much income they want to work, and then we work on the pricing from there. So if you're saying to yourself, well, I'm going to charge $100 an hour, which, you know, is bold. It's a bold move to make if you haven't made, you know, $20 an hour. It's bold to start charging $100 an hour. But if you're like, hey, I want to make a six-figure income, I want to work 20 hours a week, and I want to charge $100 an hour, do the math. It ain't never going to calculate. It isn't ever going to work out. And it doesn't matter how many people you are serving. It matters how well you are serving them. You can work with a smaller group and make a higher income, or even leverage over into doing like a membership group, like what I have going on now, because I see that there needs to be an avenue for this level of information, but I want to send it to people that have some skin in the game. And then from there, they can decide if they want to reach out to me to work more one-on-one or not. And then that way I get a place that I can stream all of my content, and I have got kind of like a pre-selected group that says, hey, I've already got some skin in the game, and I'm willing to show up bigger whenever the timing's right for me. And then I know that the people that I'm working with is always going to be a great fit. It's a really great situation. The other piece of that, to really know that your clients are going to be a great fit, definitely catch the next training where we talk about ditching the pitch and never selling again. We're going to talk about how you can identify who is a great fit for you, so that you stop taking on clients for the money and you start taking on clients because they're a really, really, really great fit. And when they're a really, really, really great fit, you're more satisfied, they're more satisfied, your work's better, they refer more to you, just the magic happens. And it's kind of tempting to be in this place of fear of not having enough and feeling like you have to take on whatever clients at whatever price. And you know what? If you're in that place, I really honor you. Do what feels right to you, but have an understanding that the discomfort that you're feeling is only going to go away when you can get into a deeper level of self-love, self-trust, and self-worth, and start showing up in a way that really honors your worth and your value. And that may mean increasing your prices. So, yes, sit with what price feels right to you. You know, you might want to check around to see what other people are doing. If you're the only coach out there that's charging $20,000, which you won't be, by the way, just so you know, you might have a harder time if you're swimming in a sea of coaches that are charging, you know, $3,000 to $5,000 for working with them. And if you've never made $20,000 for one client, it's going to be pretty much a stretch for you to make that high of a jump and really keep up with yourself vibrationally and energetically. So I encourage my clients, and I encourage all of you to sit with yourself over what pricing feels right to you. Majority of the time we have a number in mind and we're just scared to ask for it. We're scared it's not enough. We're scared it's too much. We're scared people aren't going to pay for it. We're scared people aren't going to pay for it because they think it's not enough. We're scared for a number of reasons. But if you just sit silently with yourself and ask yourself, just ask your heart, soul, inner Chrissy, inner whoever you are, right? How much money do you want to make? What number feels really good and right? What number feels really good and safe? And then what's a number that I can stretch past that? I want you to pick a number, or encourage you to pick a number that feels really good, but also feels like a little bit of a stretch. That's why I go back and recheck my pricing every 3 months, because it allows me to continue stretching. And what's cool with offering high-end pricing, it's super easy to discount, and it feels amazing to discount. It doesn't only feel amazing to me, it feels amazing to my clients too. So I am known for anybody who has been in a position where you and I have felt like it's a really good match for us to continue working together or to start working together, majority of the time I offer a hefty, considerable discount if you say yes in the first 24 hours. What's great about that is that it feels amazing to me, and it helps my potential clients to say yes to something that their heart's telling them that they want. It's a really cool thing. And there's something more awesome than saying, hey, I typically charge $4,000 for this program, but in the next 24 hours, because I feel like this is such an amazing fit, and I only say this if it is an amazing fit, by the way, integrity first, always. If you say yes in the next 24 hours, I'm so excited to get started working with you. I will give you a $1,000 scholarship towards this, and I'll drop the price down to $3,000. Now you feel like it's amazing because you already know you're getting more value than anything that you could actually break down and pay for, because I add in a lot of bonuses. I get the bare bones structure, and then I identify all that extra stuff that I'd be given to them anyway, and I make it all bonus. This is when I work with clients one-on-one, we can really break this down and see what things are part of the bare structure, what things am I going to be doing in addition, and how can I break those down to where they can be bonuses so that I can be acknowledged. It can be acknowledged that along with my massage, for example, I'm teaching them stretches. Now that's something that most massage therapists do. When you go home, find a doorway, do a nice little shoulder stretch. It'll really help to open up your pecs. Well, you put that into your packages. You have a massage package that includes instructions on how to do proper stretching to increase your mobility and to facilitate more healing at home on your own time, so you don't have to work with me as much and invest as much of your time, money, and energy. Priceless. Priceless. And I've taken that 1 hour session and I've added massive value to it. Now I can easily jump from $100 to $150 an hour if I was going to price things hourly, but I don't recommend doing that. I recommend you are the expert. You know what people need. People don't need one session with you. People know, that one session with you is awesome. How much more awesome is 6 sessions with you? So why are you selling single sessions? Sell 6 sessions. Sell it together. You're the expert. If you see people 1 session at a time, you're saying whenever you feel the need, come back for more. You're not the fixer. You're the expert. Be the expert. And in your expert opinion, you've seen countless people have this same kind of situation. I know you have. You've seen it as you are healing yourself, which got you to this point that you want to offer your service to the world. I know you. I am you. See how I picked my tribe? Right? When you can leverage it in such a way, then it actually sets them up for better success. If people aren't ready to commit for 6 sessions, how serious are they to getting their results? If you say in 6 sessions, I can bring you to this end result, and if I don't, then this is what we're going to do from here. It's so much more powerful, and you will attract the people and you will have the consistent income. But if you say, come for a session, let's see what happens, give me a call whenever you need it, that's what they're going to do. They're going to invest in you until their car breaks down and they're going to put the money over there. They're going to invest in you until things kind of settle down enough that they can keep going and work themselves right back into the same situation that they were in before. Change isn't always easy. Lord knows we know that, right? So why set your clients up for just a little bit of success when you can really bring them all the way to success by just leveraging yourself different? So I guess that would be my top packaging and pricing tips. Market the end result. Package your services to where they include multiple sessions so that you can actually get them to that end result. When you say, this is the challenge, this is the result, what is your steps? What will you take them through? Identify this for yourself. I invited you to do this on this last training video. I think it was on this last training video. I don't know. I might be switching up that self-worth thing again. So I'll just break it down this way. Once you identify what that challenge is, what that end result is, then you write down your protocol. Okay, I'm going to give them a massage on Tuesday, and then on Thursday, I'm going to do the stretching facilitating, and then on Tuesday of the following week, it's going to be another session. You write it all down for you, not because that becomes your package. No, that becomes your protocol for your peace of mind and your own internal knowing that you can actually walk somebody through this process. What do you market? What do you put out there? What do you offer them? The result getting package. That's what you offer them. So don't market the how, market the what. Don't offer the how, offer the what. Price yourself at the price that feels really good to you, but feels like a little bit of a stretch and also lines up with what that end picture is. And I offer these monthly group sessions. They're free for mastermind members, but anybody can join them. And one of them is an authentic alignment session. I think that that's the one that's happening this month. I'll have to double check that, but next week actually is when it will be. Yeah, because we did clearing limited beliefs last time, so it's got to be authentic alignment session. And in this session, I will teach you my protocol. You can join for just, we'll say $33. I don't know what I have it marked at right now, but we'll say $33. I think it's normally $44, but I'm going to offer you a discount of $11, so you can join it for just $33. Isn't that cool? I know you see what I did there. So for $33, you can join this group session, or you can just join the mastermind and join the group for free. But I walk you through a protocol that it gives you a simple recipe that you can go back to over and over again to always adjust yourself and make sure that you are in alignment with that end vision. So that's what you need to do with your pricing. What is that end income and hours that you want to be working? Make sure that your pricing reflects that, right? You don't have to price what other people price. You can price it at whatever you want. Their pricing doesn't bring their results. It's everything else that they're doing behind the scenes is bringing their results. So, you know, pricing is something to play with. It's something to revisit. It's something to challenge yourself on being more comfortable with. And it's something that you can never actually have reflect the value of what you bring to the table. In fact, I say, let the value overweigh the pricing that you put on it. It always will, because you're involved in the equation. So they're always getting more than what they're paying for, because you're amazing. And allow your services and your offerings to reflect that awesomeness by showing them you're going to get so much more value, that there's even stuff on this page that you're going to be getting that I didn't even include, because I mean, I just can't include it all. You're going to be getting so much from me. Okay. So that's my packaging, pricing, and services in a nutshell. Feel your way to your services. If you have multiple services and don't know which way to go, again, get over that. If you're not going to have just one thing, you're not going to have just one thing. We're multifaceted. We're going to have multifaceted practices. The old paradigm is pick one thing and stick with it. The new paradigm is become you. It's stick with that. You are multifaceted. So you're going to have lots of things that you bring into the equation. So like I've braided massage with nutritional cleansing, with spiritual guidance, with life coaching, and it's all this beautiful mindset work, healing work, intuitive work. It's multifaceted. I just had to pick a title, so I went with intuitive healer and business coach. You know what? That could change at any time. It can change at any time. It doesn't really matter. I just got to have something that's out there, and that's not going to be what makes or breaks my practice. It's not. So it's not going to be what makes or breaks your practice. They're not buying your modality. They're buying you. So know yourself, express yourself, and people will, if you build it, they will come, right? Okay, so let's talk Facebook groups. Let's talk Facebook groups. Facebook groups are really popular right now. They are really happening. If you didn't notice, you probably have joined like 1,500 this past week, either that you chose to get into or that people put you into. They're a hot thing. They are happening. Here is what I would love to tell you about Facebook groups. You are not struggling in business because you don't have a Facebook group. And a Facebook group is not going to make your business a success. What I believe a Facebook group does, what it has done for me, is that it has given me a place to continually invite my tribe. Not everybody is ready for high-end coaching. Not everybody's even ready to invest $33 for a group session. Not everybody's at that place, but that doesn't mean they don't want to follow me. It doesn't mean that they don't want to stay plugged into what I have happening. So once I created my Facebook group, I always had that default thing to invite people to. So I'm not consistently pitching my prices. I'm consistently pre-screening people to bring into my group. And then my group is where I start to build the relationships. That's where I continue to get to know people. It also gives me an avenue to pour my goods into. So it gives me like a test field that I always have to do market research, to have guinea pigs, to get to run polls, to get ideas, to put feelers out. When you create this community for your tribe, mind you, it's for your tribe. It is a place for them to come, for them to connect, for them to get plugged into whatever it is that you have going on. It is not for you to stand up and just talk about yourself all day long. Nobody wants that. They want to be plugged into what it is that you know, what it is that you have going on in your life. And this is a shift that's different from the traditional business model. Traditional business model is you doing business with a business. New paradigm, welcome to 2017. People don't want to do business with businesses. People don't trust businesses. People don't know what's happening in businesses. Businesses seem, I don't know, not personal. People want a personal connection. They want to know who they're dealing with. They don't want to work with a coach. They want to work with you. They don't want to work with a healing facility. They want to work with you. They want to get to know you. They're already like you. I mean, that's why they're drawn to you. And they want to continue to build their trust with you. And some people, trust is there instantly. For other people, it takes a while. I've signed up clients before that I did not know at all, and 45 minutes into our first conversation, I'm processing a $3,000 payment on their credit card. It happens. Other people I've had hanging around for years, and I didn't even know that they were hanging around. They were just, not engaging, not doing anything. They were on the peripheral, and then when the time was right, they reached out. They're like, I saw that one video, I read that one post, I've been following you for a while, and I'm ready to find out more. So this community, it kind of is, in a sense, and not your own private little community, and kind of like a fishing hole that you can, study your tribe, that you can get to know them intimately, that you can have that audience that has already said yes one time. They've said yes to something that you offered one time by joining the group. So they're already, getting in the habit of saying yes to more from you. If we want to tap into some NLP, some neuro-linguistic programming, and some, traditional sales tactics, people usually say yes after the 5th to 7th offer. So, so one of the best ways to get people to say yes to something high end is to get them to say small yeses first. This helps to build trust. It also gets them in a pattern of saying yeses. So if you say, hey, you want to connect further on the phone, no obligation, nothing required, just want to get to know you better. Okay, sure, yes. Oh, awesome. I really love getting to know you better. I'd love to invite you over to my community so that we can continue this relationship. Okay, yes. Okay, now that you're in my community, you see what's going on. Would you like to have a clarity session? Would you like to have this breakthrough session so that we can get some clarity around what it is that you're working for? I'm going to talk more about that next week. Yes. Okay. Now, at the point that I'm actually offering them my services, they've already said yes 3 times. They are way more likely to say yes a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th time than if I haven't made an offer, or if my first pitch is, hey, do you want to do this high-end investment with me? It's just, I don't know what it is. It's becoming aware and trusting yourself enough to know that you can use these tactics in a way that is aligned, because what you want most is to help people. And the best way that you can help people is to clear the path for them to say yes to what will really help them. And people aren't sure. If they knew what the answer was, they would have already invested. So they need your confidence and your clarity to help guide the way. Again, we're going to talk more about getting yes on conversations and that sort of thing next time. But this really starts to pave the way in understanding how Facebook group can be beneficial. So if you're somebody with a message that you want to streamline, that you want to clarify, a Facebook group can be amazing for that. If you're somebody who needs to build your confidence, that needs to build your interactive skills, that just really needs to start getting some feedback and some validation and some external evidence that what you got is actually beneficial to people, a Facebook group is awesome. Now, if you are thinking a Facebook group is going to give you your own private little fishing hole so you can go and shoot fish in a barrel and like reel them all in, that will not happen, because there's something else that also happens with these free offerings. There's a vast majority of people who will say yes to free offerings and will never say yes to anything further. It's just a fact. I mean, think about it. How many free opt-ins have you said yes to? How many downloads, how many mailing lists, how many groups, how many things, how many free challenges have you participated in that you didn't purchase anything further? Case in point. It happens all the time. It's a really great feature, but it's not something that you can count on as being the thing that sets you free. So to me, if you want to start a Facebook group that you have a place to practice, you have a place that you can always be inviting to, you have something free of value that you can always offer to people, start a Facebook group. If you're struggling and you're like, I don't know what to do, but all these people got awesome Facebook groups and they're super successful, so I'm going to start a Facebook group too. Check yourself before you move forward in that. Make sure that it's something that you're really aligned with, that you really feel positive about. Because I've also watched this over the past couple of years of being in Facebook groups, amazing Facebook groups that get started and then shut down because the person who is running it is totally burned out, because they are pouring more of their energy into serving a free community in hopes that they can bring people in, that they're all out of balance, all out of whack, and kind of looking for love in all the wrong places, right? Looking for that validation, looking for something that they're just not getting. So if you want to have that community, if you want to get out of your shell, if you want to practice putting yourself out there more consistently, Facebook groups are great. If you're looking for a surefire way to enroll new clients or, sell your services or have a community that you pitch to constantly, nobody likes to be pitched to constantly. So I just encourage you to save your time and energy and don't waste other people's time if it's just going to be a continual promotion of what you have going on. So this brings me to my next point with Facebook groups. If you have a community, make it super valuable. You have to put valuable content in there. People will come because they like you. People will stay because of the content that you have going on. So there's a few different things that you can do to make sure that you always have content going on. When I first started my Facebook group, I went ahead and planned a theme for every day of the week. Now, here I am a year into having my Facebook community. Love you. I have almost 400 members. I know people that have had groups open for shorter periods of time that have thousands of members, and that's cool for you. I'm very excited for you. I'm seriously passionate and feel like such a success with almost 400 organic members that have self-selected, that have opted into this, that I did not add my entire list to. I invited every single person in that community, or they've been invited by other people in the community. And it's been a natural unfolding progression. I think that that's awesome. So it's not so much numbers in your group that I think make it a success. It's the quality of the content, the engagement level. So I started with a daily theme so that people knew what to do. You are a leader. So as you step forward into leading a Facebook group, you need to give people direction. So having a theme of the day, I started out with, I think, Mindset Monday, Biz Tip Tuesday, What You Want Wednesday. Actually, it was What You Got Wednesday, so people could do promotions. And then I changed to doing promotions all the time. So I changed it to What You Want Wednesday, so you can ask for what you want. I do Oracle Thursdays and then Feature Friday. So I have these themes in place so that people would always know what to do. And having that theme set up or having that engagement set up is really helpful. Another thing that's super awesome that I did for my second week of my community is that I created a challenge, a free 5-day Transform Fear into Confidence challenge that has now taken on a life of its own and has become a monthly thing that happens in that group. But having a free challenge is a great way to get people involved, and having it set up in a way where there's some kind of point system or something extra that happens with their engagement, invite them at the end of each day to come back over to the community and share through a post or a live feed or something like that. And then do a drawing for something, do a draw for a free session with you or a copy of your ebook or whatever it is that you have of value to offer. Have there be an incentive for people to participate. And if you make the challenge really super juicy, where you got bite-sized pieces, this is a very important thing about challenges. People don't have 2 hours a day to do your challenge, no matter how awesome you are. They got about 15 minutes. So if you can make it bite-sized action steps for, a week or 3 days or 10 days, whatever feels right to you. I think that 3 to 5 days is really great because you're going to find after day 3, lots of people drop off anyway. So you can create a challenge. You can have daily themes, just some way that is always continually inviting people to engage, that doesn't require a lot of sweat equity on your behalf and allows you to stay building that relationship in your community. Because it's not a lot of fun when you're the only one posting all the time. It took a while before my people started posting, actually, no, excuse me. I take that back. People posted right from the start because I had the themes and I had the challenge going on. But as far as like the ongoing non-prompted engagement, it just took a little while. It took a little while for people to get comfortable. Now I got a handful of people that are super awesome about posting regularly. Also helps that I have, it open where you can promote yourself at any time because I trust my community. I trust you're only going to bring things of value. And I trust that if you get too spammy, I'm going to let you know and you're going to be removed from a group. But I trust my tribe. I trust you. I trust you to behave yourself. I trust you to be the heart-centered, conscious entrepreneurs that I know that you are. And so for me, it just felt right, especially once I started to break through some of my lack mentality and expanded my prosperity consciousness to understand I'm not ever going to miss out. I'm not ever going to miss out on a client because I let somebody promote my group. Never. But I do have to remember that people that are in my group, they don't want to be promoted to all the time. So I've got to make sure that it is value-packed promotions that are happening. Just think about, what do you like in any group that you love being a part of? What do you love about it? And then emulate some of that, embody some of that as you create your own group. And again, remember, Facebook groups aren't going to be the thing that sets you free. I've seen lots of people burn out their time and energy because they're just giving too much in that community and not getting anything back in return, or at least not getting what they were searching for return. I started my group to have a community for me to pour everything into, and I got that. And I'm very appreciative for that. I have that closed group of people that I can always go to for feedback, to get their thoughts, get their ideas, to do the market research. As I clarify my niche, as I clarify and streamline, my marketing message, my wording, I've got somebody there that I can run it past. And it's cool to have that group before I post it into other places, or, continue to clarify it for myself. It's not going to be the thing that sets you free, but if you want a place to practice and to show up consistently, highly recommend it. That's probably the biggest gift that my group has given me, is that I have shown up consistently for over a year now, and now I've gotten pretty dang good at consistently showing up. It has really upped my ability to follow through and to be consistent. And for anybody who has watched my 3 pillars to consistent income, one of the 3 pillars is consistency. You have to be consistent. Whatever you're doing consistent is creating your life. So you have to be consistent. So for me, it developed consistency. It gave me that community that I can have that ongoing conversation with, always have that marketing group, market research group ready for me. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a fun place to celebrate. It's a fun place to recognize people and to feature other do-gooders out there in the world. So that's my thing on Facebook groups. Would love to know, again, anybody who wants to chat in on if that was helpful, or if there's anything else that you want to know about Facebook groups. Now would be the time. Go ahead and chat that in. Okay, so I'm going to share my formula for creating cohesive content. This is the top reason why you are so awesome and nobody's buying from you. The top reason why, when they go to your website, they think it's great, but they don't get started. The top reason why they opt in for your free opt-in, they think it's great, but they don't get started. And it's because you're not being cohesive in your messaging. Because you can do so much for so many, you are talking about all those things, and it is great and it is awesome, but it's not clarifying and it's not consistent. There's no cohesion with it. I can really relate to this, because as I evolved from a massage therapist into somebody who did nutritional cleanse coaching, into somebody who does spiritual guidance and life coaching work, now I've got 4 different ballparks that I'm playing in, and I could talk about how to lose weight, and then I can tell you how to put in a good marketing message, and then I could tell you how you can, do some at-home self-massage. I have so much information that I can give you, and as I was sitting there, I was like, well, I just want to give good content. Let me put out this, let me put out this, let me put out this, let me put out this. It was all great, but there was no cohesion. There was no cohesion. It didn't all flow. It didn't all speak to how you're going to overcome a challenge and get to an end result. That didn't happen. It was all over the place. And while it was great, it wasn't actionable. Didn't prompt people to take action and get started. If anything, it was kind of a distraction, because they're like, gosh, Chrissy just knows everything. I can just sit back and consume all this stuff and, not take action. Or I don't even know exactly how she works with people. Does she help people lose weight, or does she help people start businesses? What is she doing? Right? So this is the formula that I came up with. When I realized I got to have a cohesive message, plus I got this awesome Facebook group, I want to keep an ongoing conversation. So I was like, how do I do this? How do I keep up with an ongoing conversation? And this is what I did. And I highly recommend that you consider doing it as well. Chances are you are so knowledgeable about what it is that you have to offer. Chances are you could talk about what you do for days. Chances are there is so much that you could say that that's part of the reason why you're having a hard time clarifying just what one little chunk you're going to focus on. So this is what I would encourage you to do if this is you. Think about what that overall challenge and end result that your people want, and think about what is it that will liberate them? What is it that will get them to that end result? So for me, I know that my people want more time, more support, and more self-assurance that they're doing the right thing. They want to feel equipped, they want to feel supported, and they need to have the time and the energy in order to actually do it, and the money. They need some money too. So that's what they really want. And in the end, I guess the challenge will be the time and the money and the lack of support and feeling like they're ill-equipped. The result is that they want to feel equipped, feel supported, and just not be working all the time to get the results. They want consistent income. So when I think about how do I get people to that result, what do they need in order to get to that end result, I identified 4 topics. And I like 4 topics. It's just a nice round number. Think about that end result. What are the 4 main topics? What are the 4 main things that they have to have in place in order to get to that end result? And when I think about a year, like I think about, 52 weeks in a year, I think about doing things quarterly. I think that that's where I came up with the 4, right? So every quarter, you have a different topic to focus on. So whatever that end result is, whatever that thing is that gets them there, whatever that thing is that they need, identify that. So top points. So for me, I could definitely break that down into self-love, self-trust, self-worth, and let's just say prosperity consciousness, right? I know that all of those pillars need to be in place, because if you're not in love with yourself, you're probably not taking action on your soul's desires. If you don't trust yourself, you're definitely not taking action on your desires. And if you're not aware of your worth and your value, then you're probably struggling in the financial department and the receiving department. And if you have a limited prosperity consciousness, you're only going to be able to expand so far. So these are really needed for my people. You all need these things. So identify what those 4 things are for yourself, whatever they are. Okay, and then for each of those 4 things, and you could do this like on a sheet of paper, like put the top one there, go about a quarter of the way down there, about a quarter of the way down there, quarter of the way down there. Or you can just do like a single page for each one, whatever works for you. Now, for each of those subtopics, or for each of those topics, think about 3. If you could say 3 things on each of those subjects, what would they be? So what are 3 things I could say about self-love? What are 3 things I can say about self-trust? What are 3 things I can say about self-worth? What are 3 things that I can say about prosperity consciousness? And then write those out. I don't expect you to do this right now, just so you know. Okay, now, this is where it gets really exciting. And this is where we can embrace the power of multiplication. For each of those 3 subtopics that go for each of those topics, now identify 4 things that you can say about each of those topics. Now, these are just bite-sized little nuggets, just bite-sized little nuggets. So, for example, self-love, right? I'm just going to break this down, and I'm just going to make it up as I go along, so bear with me on that. So we could talk about, okay, so 3 components of self-love. We'll say self-talk, being your own best friend, and self-care. I'm just making those up. Now, what are 4 tips that I can give you about self-talk? What are 4 tips that I can give you about becoming your own best friend? What are 4 tips that I can give you about self-care? You repeat this for each of the 4 topics that you have, and in the end, you're going to have 48 weeks worth of talk points. Now it's just up to you to expand them week after week after week. Now you can have a flowing, ongoing conversation. If you know that your end result is gotten to by making 4 stops along the way, what can you say about those 3 things that you can say about each of those stops along the way? And what are 4 little easy, simple action steps or talk points that you can break off of each of those things? It might seem overwhelming at first, but as you sit down and do this, you're an expert. You could talk about this stuff for days. Surely you can pick out 1 sentence to pair with the next, to pair with the next, to pair with the next, to be complete with that topic before you move on to the next one. And then you get 48 hours, or 48 topics. And when I first sat down to do this, it took me just under an hour to write out each and every single one of those. So I think you can easily parlay that 48 into 52 and have a topic for every single week of the year if you don't want to take any weeks off. Super simple. So if you're doing like a Mindset Monday and a Biz Tip Tuesday, then for week 1, I'm going to start talking about self-love. And in particular, I'm going to talk about self-talk. And today, that's what I'm going to talk about for self-talk. And I'm going to talk about that for the next 4 weeks. And then we're going to get into the next topic. And then we're going to get into the next topic. And then we're going to move into the next quarter. We're going to hit a new topic. And we're going to break that down bite by bite by bite. So it's simple. You can do this for your Facebook posts. You can do this for your groups. You can do this for your weekly email. You can do this for whatever it is that you are putting out there. Keep it consistent. Keep it an ongoing conversation. Let them know you're going to continue this conversation. Say, we're going to talk about for this next month, I'm going to focus all on self-love. And this week, we're going to focus on this. And then next week, we're going to focus on this. So join me back next week while we start that conversation. And now you're joining me, and we were talking about this. Now we're going to talk about this. And then we're going to expand it out to go into this. And if that's not enough pronouns for you, let me know. I'll add in a few more, and hopefully you followed along with all of that. Okay, so that's my cohesive content. And it's just a great way to, again, have clarity, which leads to confidence, which leads to action. Most of the time, we're sitting there not taking action because we're like, well, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? What did I say last time? What am I going to say this time? Make it cohesive, make it ongoing, and let it be an invitation to continue the conversation. I think that's why all of you are on the line today and watching the replay, because we've been having an ongoing conversation for the last few weeks. And I invite you to join me next week as we dive into ditching the pitch, how to never sell again, but still make money. And if you like this conversation, I invite you to join me over in the Consciouspreneur Club, where we're going to be talking about this all the time, because all roads lead to self-worth, self-trust, and self-love for me. All of them do. Everything leads to that. Lisa says, wow, what an easy way to look at content and ways to break it out. So simple. It's so simple. It will take far less effort to do it this way than to do the guessing game week after week after week. And when I sat down with that whole page, I mean, I just filled up like a notebook page whenever I did it for myself. When I sat down with that page of content, I just sat there week after week after week, checking it off. And guess what? I got through about 8 weeks and I changed directions. And that's perfect too. You don't have to check off and make sure that you hit on every single one of these points. The point of this is to help you to get clarity, to help you to feel confident so that you will go into action. It can always change. It can always evolve. In fact, I dare say it always will. So it's okay. You didn't fail if you didn't get through all 48 weeks of topics. It just means you followed your heart into a new direction, and that's a beautiful thing too. Okay, awesome. Any other thoughts? Definitely open in the chat. Thank you, Lisa, for throwing that out there. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about today was emails and Facebook posts, how to make them action prompting and heart sharing. Because I see a lot of heart sharing that doesn't get any action. And I see very simple posts that get a ton of action. So what a lot of us are trained in this online business world, that you got to be authentic, you got to get real, you got to get vulnerable, you got to put it all out there. And I have seen some of you, and I've seen others put out some super vulnerable posts that I know took you a ton of guts and courage to even put out there, that I know you were wiping tears as you were typing it out and scared to death as you were hitting send. I've seen these posts, and I've seen them sit there, passed over, nobody commenting. And there's nothing that feels crappier than bearing your soul and having nobody respond. That's just my opinion. I don't know if y'all are agreeing with me or not, but when I see those posts, when it's like I finally had the courage to put it all out there and I'm still not getting results, what the what, right? So I thought about this for myself, and I had this shift happen where I went from like maybe some engagement every fourth post to some engagement every single post. I get a like, I get a comment, I get something on everything that I put out there now. And it's not just because I'm posting in my own community. I'm going into other groups, and that's another good thing to say too. Build a relationship before you start bombing them with your promotions, and you'll probably get more people to engage with what you have putting out there. So this is what I do. This is my little formula for putting together Facebook posts and for putting together emails. I hit on the facts. I hit on the facts. Usually I type stuff out in a Word document before I copy and paste it into Facebook. Highly recommend this if you're in a position that you can do this. It'll be a great way for you to practice, right? This is all about getting more confident so you'll take more action. So, and I'm going to wrap this up super fast because I just realized I've got another appointment here in 5 minutes. Okay. Start with what it is that you have to say. So if I wanted to promote for this series, for example, I need to have the basics. Like, how do you get to this? What is it that you're going to get from this? So you need the basic info. So I start with the basic info, and then I expand from that. Okay, so now that you've got the who, what, when, where of the situation, I'm going to expand on it. And I'm going to say, what's the value? Like, what is it that they get? Remember, nobody wants to be on an hour-long training. Nobody wants to be on a 45-minute training. You want to know how to attract and support your tribe. That's what you want. If I can give it to you in 15 minutes, you'll gladly take it in 15 minutes. So having a free hour-long training does not help anybody. It doesn't excite anybody. So if I'm only talking about free training, come check it out. not anybody's really going to take action on that. But if I can help you to see how this free training addresses the challenge that you're having and the end result that you want to get to, now we're starting to tap into it. So once I have my basics, I ask myself, why would people want this? Like, what are they really getting? What is it that we're going to talk about? So if I just said, you know, come check out my free training on attract and support your tribe, that might get some training, some traction. It might. But if I say, you know, come and check out my free training on attract and support your tribe, where we're going to be talking about packaging and pricing your services, Facebook groups, creating cohesive content, emails and Facebook posts. Now that's going to get some traction. That will get a little bit more because people are like, oh, okay, I want some of that. That's cool. Now, if I can take that and expand it even more and say, what is an impactful story that I can share from my own personal life that speaks to what I have going on here? So it's kind of like I reverse engineered it. Instead of what's a really vulnerable story that I can share and how can I connect that to my topic, and then how can I parlay that over to what it is that I want to have them do, I do it backwards. So I have the basic who, what, when, where. I expand that. So like I look at it like right here because it's at the bottom of your message, right? And then on top of it, I expand the breakdown. How do we get to it so that they want to take action here? And then I put at the top of that, I add in a personal message. So I want there to be the content. I want there to be the invitation, but I want there to be value for those who read it and don't take action as well. And when you're just talking about your vulnerable stuff, you might be kind of missing that mark or not bringing all of those elements into the equation. So you want it to be personal and to relate to you and to who it is that you're talking about. You want it to speak to how it helped you to overcome a challenge, or how the content's going to help them overcome the challenge. You're going to speak to that end result that you got to and that you helped them get to, and then you're going to give them the facts of the information. Because if I just send out, this is what's happening, this is what's happening, this is what's happening, this is what's happening, part of my audience is going to check out. Because if they can't make it, then they're going to start to feel bad because I'm always inviting them, but they're not taking action, and they're going to self-select to get out of my group because they feel like they're not living up to some expectation that I don't have of them. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And if I only just say, blah, 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 this is about me, about me, about me, I'm only going to hit the mark so much. So when I can say, this was me, and I know it's you too, and then I switch all my eyes to use, then we're having a much better conversation, a more connected conversation. And there's something so much more powerful. And I'll do it in my own copy before I post it up. And for those of you that don't know what copy is, because I used to not know what copy is the literal words that you post on the screen. Those words, that's your copy. So I'll look at my copy before I go to post it. And if I catch myself anywhere saying like, you know, I work with conscious entrepreneurs because they struggle with this and they have a hard time with this and they really want this, that feels so different than I say, I work with conscious entrepreneurs because I know you and I know that you're struggling. I know you're having a hard time. I know you're frustrated. I know that it hurts you. I know it hurts you because it hurt me. And then that just feels so much more intimate. It's in including them in the conversation. They already feel part of the conversation. They're going to be much more likely to at least like, comment, or take action on whatever it is that you have. So you can't just go content. You can't just go value. It's got to be value and content and that action item as well. And if you can't figure out how to put that all together, that's how I put it together. Start with the facts. I expand it up to include how do we lead up to that action. And then I add in a lovely story that just brings in the whole equation. Okay. Now I'm feeling that in the Consciouspreneur Mastermind, for 2018, we're going to be focused on all these things that I'm talking about through this Simple Truth series. We're just going to expand it out so we can really dive deep into, you know, the more practical aspects that can't all fit into just this quick little training that I'm doing for you today. So if you are somebody who does want to continue this conversation, definitely consider checking out the mastermind. I've already got things lined up for the end of the year. We're going to be doing, we just did a self-love power shift that's in the group. We just did a self-worth power shift that's in the group. Next month, we're going to be diving into intuition. Then we're going to be diving into manifesting, and probably going to wrap it all up, maybe with doing the alchemy training again. Maybe not. We might just wrap up the year to really set us up for 2018. Maybe we'll do some holistic goal setting and that kind of cool stuff. But there's action lined up for the rest of the year in the Consciouspreneur Club. And if, again, low monthly investment or low annual investment, if you want to prepay for the year, for high-end support and community, highly recommend you check this out. Highly recommend you take a look at it in 2017, because you get into it in 2017. First of all, you're going to pay the 2017 prices instead of the 2018 prices, which are already on deck to be about twice as much as what they are now, a little bit more than twice as much. But you'll also become affiliate for the program. So as you refer other people to join the mastermind, you can actually earn referral fees back. I also have an affiliate program happening right now with the 21-day money power shift. So if you were part of that beta testing or a member of the Consciouspreneur Mastermind group and want to have people that you know can benefit from this, refer them. Once they have contacted me and have signed up for the power shift, you can receive referral fees coming back to you as well. So super duper awesome opportunities happening with the mastermind right now. Definitely reach out to that. And the 21-day money power shift, again, that's an early bird sell right now. It will be jumping to full pricing for next week, for the last week that it's open. We're going to be kicking it off October 2nd. It is phenomenal. I mean, words cannot express the power shift that you will experience when it comes to money. And if you're curious about it, check out my bit.ly site, bit.ly/money power shift, or reach out to me and I'll make sure that you have that information, because it's just life transforming. Everybody who went through it is just blown away, and I'm really excited to offer it again. I had, I think, 67 people come through the beta testing, and all of them were just raving about it, even those that didn't complete the program. And many of those that completed the program signed up to take it for the second round. And those that were in the second round have finished it up and are retaking it again, just because they got so much from it and they just want to keep continuing integrating the concept. So all that awesomeness is happening. If you want more support, you reach out to me. You will get it. You will get it. And just to read a couple of the comments here, Alicia says, did you say put the story at the beginning after you have content and invitation? Thank you, Chrissy. So much value. Have to run. Love you. Love you too, Alicia. I put the story first. I think people like to be brought in with a story, and then that way, even if they don't get into the details of the content, they still have that relationship being built with you. They're getting to know you more, and everybody enjoys a really well-told story. So I would do the story first and incorporate that to naturally interweave into the top points that you're going to be hitting in whatever offering that you have going on, and then keep all the details down at the bottom. And let's see, Samantha, I saw that you popped on here. So glad that you're here, sweetie. Let's see, Lisa says, highly recommend the mastermind group. Yes, Lisa, I love having you in that group. And you're a perfect example of someone who got started in the beta program and then stayed around in the community. And what's really cool for this last round, or for this last 2017 round of the 21-day money power shift, I'm going to gift you with support of the community, for the mastermind community, for the rest of the year, for the rest of 2017. So after the 21 days, you're still part of the community and you can continue to integrate it and be a part of this conversation. Super duper awesome. Samantha says, hola, hop in to use this as an opportunity to get to know you a little more than I did. Yay! So glad that you were here, Samantha. And I hope that you found it super valuable. Grateful for what you're sharing, because I'm indeed looking at taking on my own ship to grow and help grow with the light that each of us are. So beautifully said. And that's it. And Samantha's talking about creating her own ship and redefining business ownership. I talk about that, about stepping into understanding that you're not the ship, you're at the helm of the ship, and you're the steward of the ship. The ship is your business, you're not your business. So yes. So glad that you ladies are here. Thank you so much, everybody who stayed through the training this long and for the replay. I hope that you found it super valuable. Do share this series with others. Check out the Consciouspreneur Club and reach out in any way that I can support you. I really honor you for being so committed to your journey, and I look forward to getting to know you better. So with that, we'll be complete, and I hope to see you next week as we wrap up this series talking about ditching the pitch and how to never sell again. All right. Y'all are beautiful and awesome. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.